Hi folks, Robert Lowell Goller here. Thanks for joining us for a weekly live stream. We're not live today. I had promised I'd go on the road, and I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to do that. I'm getting lots of questions as town historian and also just in general out and about in the community about Pine Street. It's under construction, reconstruction, and one of the cool things that's been discovered is the bricks underneath the pavement that have been exposed during this project. So I've been getting questions about when those originated and why there's bricks there. Actually, I had done a lot of research about bricks, brick roads a few months back when West Falls, Davis Road was under construction, and they exposed bricks there as well. But we do know, thanks to the Archives of the Easter Advertiser, that we have in the historian's office, that Pine Street was bricked in 1916, and it was a vote of the village, 158 to 14, overwhelmingly supporting bricking Pine Street. And in this period of time, 2 years earlier, Main Street had been bricked. A lot of other roads, main roads in our community, were bricked because more people were getting automobiles, and it was becoming more difficult for people to get through the dirt roads. Some were paved, but a lot of roads were bricked. Olean Road, Davis Road, Route 240 in West Falls, and Main Street. So Main Street was bricked in 1914. 2 years later, Pine Street, 1916. Buffalo Road, Seneca Street, around the same time. Actually the same year, 1916. And in the case of Pine Street, it was a village project at that time. Now it's a county project, the county road. But at the time it was a village road, and they went from Main Street, where it had already been bricked, down to Porterville Road, where it turns. And the point of that was Pine Street going out toward Porterville. Porterville was actually, the hamlet of Porterville was a bustling place at the time, and Pine Street was a major route north through Porterville, Marilla, up to points north out of East Aurora. Remember, we didn't have Route 400 yet, so if you'd go Seneca Street to Buffalo, that was a major thoroughfare to Buffalo, so that would have been bricked. And then Pine Street out Porterville, 2 points north, and that would be going northeast out of East Aurora. So that's one of the cool things that can get exposed during a project, a construction project, is the bricks that might be under the road, especially if it's a major road. And that's what's happening here. The bricks are being exposed. Another cool thing, and I posted about this a couple days ago when I was getting questions, they're also unearthing wooden water lines, and those were put in the 1890s. A lot of the water mains throughout the community, any community actually, were made of wood, and today we're not used to that. And those, we found an article. There's actually a piece of a wooden pipe that's in the town museum from under the Circle when they were redoing Main Street back 15 years ago, and we have one of those on display. But there were wooden water pipes found here, and they went out of commission in 1953. Actually, there's a big article in the Buffalo News how it was of such interest that they were no longer going to be using wooden water pipes, and they were replaced in 1953. I posted on the historian's page last week about that. When they went out of commission. The interesting thing is when they put the new pipes in, they didn't take the old ones out. So all these wooden water mains are still underground. And so we're finding them, 70, 80 years later, after they're no longer used, more than 120 years since they were put in, and they're all underground. So if they don't need to take them out, they don't. They're still underground. So there's all sorts of wooden water pipes underground. One of the biggest the problems wasn't the wood. The wood worked great, relatively speaking, for the water flow. It was the bands, the steel bands they put around, the metal bands they had put around them to hold the pipes together. They rusted, and they fell apart, and so that was some of the problems they were having with those types of pipes. So that was the bigger issue. So bricks can be exposed during these projects, and wooden water lines. Another thing that, not necessarily with this project, but in some cases they find trolley tracks. There was actually a report about this project here on Pine Street that trolley tracks may be underneath Pine Street, and we don't have a record of a trolley in East Aurora, the electric railroad, so to speak. they put those things in a report. Occasionally they'll say what could possibly be underneath so that they can investigate to see if there's a potential issue with old trolley tracks or wooden water lines. So they put things in reports when they start a project and do investigations to try to figure out what could potentially be there. But so trolley tracks popped up in a report for this Pine Street project, but we don't have any documentation in newspapers or in our history of a trolley track on Porterville Road or Pine Street. In fact, there were several times where a company tried to bring an electric railroad to East Aurora, and it failed. So the potential was there, it just never happened. Orchard Park had a trolley that went up through Windham, and then you could connect into the city of Buffalo, and they uncovered those trolley tracks during a reconstruction project there, and you had actually trolley tracks exposed. Not so here, but in a lot of small towns, these are some of the things that could be unearthed during these projects, which is pretty cool. So history is being unearthed here on Pine Street, and it's being unearthed anytime you have a project like this. And they do, the government and the departments of public works and the contractors, they have to do a whole bunch of due diligence and research into these potential things to make sure they don't, they call historians. We go through the old reports, the old newspaper reports, the old maps to see what could potentially be there and cause an issue perhaps during a project like this. So again, I'm here on Pine Street, took the show on the road this week. Thank you for joining us for our weekly chats about local history. Again, I'm Robert Lowell Goller. I'm the town and village historian, but these videos and a lot of my research are not connected officially with my duties as town and village historian. If you have any questions, this topic came up as someone was mentioning to me, asking about the bricks on Pine Street. I'll post a couple things in the comments so you can see what I'm talking about. And if you have any questions, further questions, topic ideas, pop them in the comments or send me a message as you always do. As always, thank you for keeping history alive, and we'll see you next time. Take care.